There he is.
There we
Yay, yay,
go.
yay. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. How am I doing?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. There we go.
You
Way
look
too
sort of
complicated here.
stunned.
Okay, now we're going.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Where are you?
I'm in Durham, North Carolina, and you're
Oh,
in
I have
Carmel?
been. Carmel. We
Carmel.
say in,
That's
in
right,
Indiana,
Carmel.
we go
I
with Carmel.
I
And I've
actually did
been,
business with a company down there, and I should remember it's Carmel, but I don't.
yeah, yeah, you'll get corrected really quickly.
I know. I know. I know.
Yeah.
So I'm already recording this.
Okay, I heard
Um,
that. How
yeah.
was,
You heard that. Okay, good. And I just want to talk to you first before we get started.
sure.
So you're happy, you're healthy? Tell
Oh,
me
yeah. Yep. We're about as happy as, what is it? Heard what somebody said, happy as, well, I'm very happy. Let's put it that way.
as a
And
pig
as
in,
healthy as we can hope.
yeah.
Had, like everybody, we've had medical adventures, but I'm doing everything I want to do, almost everything I want to do, um, and with no limitations.
Good, good. Are you married?
Oh, yeah. Actually, Marianne and I had our 42nd anniversary on Tuesday, although we are celebrating the semi-centennial of our love. We met in 1976. I like to say semi-centennial because it sounds a whole lot more confusing than 50.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids?
Yep, yep. We have two sons who are here in Indianapolis, no grandkids. So we get to see them every to the extent that schedules work, we
Yeah.
have family dinners every Sunday. So it works
Oh,
great.
great. How fun. How fun.
Yep.
How fun. How fun. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to shut my camera off
Okay.
because
I know.
yeah, okay, you know
Yep.
this drill. Okay, so I'm going to shut my camera off and I'm also going to wait. I'm going to try to wait for like a beat or two after you finish speaking so that I don't get on your, cross your lines.
Okay.
But that doesn't always work. And my very first question, you've watched the videos?
I have not. I've seen them posted, but I haven't watched them.
Okay. I normally, instead of hearing me ask a question, I'll normally put a title card up. But
Okay.
in this case, in this very first, well, no, it isn't the very first question. In one of the very first questions, I'm going to just have to ask it because it's such a long question.
All
Okay,
right.
so I'm going to turn my camera. You look great, by the way.
I appreciate it. I feel good. I
Good,
feel good.
good, 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 good. Okay, here I go off.
All right.
All righty. So we're going to recap what you've just told me. So what have you been doing, Mark, for the past 55 years?
Yeah. Well, I after high school, um, I started at the University of Michigan, but as many of our male classmates will remember, we were the last class of people who was eligible for the draft or subject to the draft and not eligible for student deferments. So I ended up getting drafted after my first year at Michigan. When my 2 years in the Army were spent in Brooklyn, New York. And I came back to Michigan and finished my undergrad, went to law school. After that, I had a clerkship at the Arizona Supreme Court and then lived in Arizona for till the 90s and then left to get into association management and fundraising. And then we've been here in Carmel, Indiana since 1993.
And you're married?
Yeah, married. Marianne and I have been married for 42 years as of last Tuesday. And we met in Ann Arbor and in 1976, a very good year. And I like to say we're celebrating our semi-centennial because it sounds more exciting than 50.
You know, one thing I know about Ann Arbor, Michigan, is it has a lot of four-leaf clovers. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, I can't say that I did or do, but I'll go with it.
Okay. I have a knack for finding four-leaf clovers.
Hmm.
Johns Hopkins has a ton of four-leaf clovers on their grounds. Okay. And tell me about your kids.
We have two boys, two grown men, actually. No children, no grandchildren. Evan is uh, works here in Indianapolis at a restaurant, and Alec, younger, works for Cisco. So we see them quite frequently, and we are able to have, to the extent calendars work, we'll have a family dinner every Sunday. Oh, Evan is married, Alec is not.
I'm so jealous. Well, we don't have kids, so
Mm.
we can't have family dinners, but there's something just so wonderful about getting family around a table, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. It's a way to, keep in touch, um, share the minutia or the excitement of whatever has happened that week. So we try to make that a priority to the extent that, again, schedules work.
I think it's a great idea. Okay, here comes the long question. So you were in choir, you were in drama, you were an honor thespian, you got a special scholarship, you were on the swim team, you were in the National Honor Society, you were in student council as president, I believe, Spanish club, football, fine arts awards. Which of those paid off most in your professional life?
Uh, it makes me laugh because I think professional and other. Um, I think I want to say this humbly, but to be able to develop a presence when you're in a meeting. I litigated for 10 years before I got out of the practice of law, but in a meeting of any kind, presentation to groups, speaking, educational programs that I may be conducting, I think all of the theater stuff allowed me to develop, I will call it a presence because that's what people say when they see me in a group like that. You develop a presence and a comfort in being able to speak, not being too terribly nervous and be effective. And I suppose that was probably the most effective in my professional life. Um, Believe it or not, for those of us who did swim, I was not a very good swimmer in high school. I'm not a very good swimmer now, but I do swim a lot now. Uh, just for the keep myself healthy and happy, and was able to use that over the years. I did like triathlon and running, and have found that to be very, very helpful, even though I wasn't and still aren't very good.
You know, the one failing, well, no, I have many failings in my
Mhm.
life. The one that constantly nags at me is I hate exercise. I hate it with a passion. And I rarely exercise. I do floor exercises every day, but I just hate it. Luckily, I'm in good health. And
Yeah.
I think you're so right about drama helping to create a presence because I've done lectures and workshops on climate and and I have no fear about getting in front of
Yeah.
a crowd. I
Yeah.
actually like it. I think it's
Mhm.
fun.
Yep. I agree. So do I, in all different kinds of environments and atmospheres that we are called on to do question and answer or just presentation or whatever it takes. Like you say, you're comfortable with it and more than happy to take it on and go with it.
Now, are you still working
No,
in
no, no, no.
fundraising?
I retired 8 years ago, um, and we've been in Carmel for quite a while. So you know how it is when you retire, you have to kind of figure out how to do it, what you want to do, how you want to keep your days, how you could stay busy, and. in spite of your not being interested in exercise, I have a chance. We have a wonderful community center, community gym, rec center here. And I'll be there 5 or 6 days a week in the morning, first thing in the morning. This morning I went and cycled. I'll swim a couple days a week. I work with a personal trainer. Just enjoy all of it. I love it. And that's the first part of my day. You do that in the morning, you don't have to do anything else the rest of the day, and you've accomplished something. But that's kind of how I start my day.
I am so impressed. I had a personal trainer when I was in San Francisco, and the first thing she did to me was a pinch test to see, you know what a pinch test is.
Oh, yes.
So she did a pinch test and she said, "You're all fat."
Yeah.
And that was the one time I used a personal trainer.
Yeah, we've been at it for 8 years, and Jenny has become a great friend. She's a little goofy, and we have a lot of shared interests and of shared attitudes as well. So we have a lot of fun when we get together.
Good for you. I just think that's terrific. Now, how would you characterize your high school self?
I don't know. I don't know that I don't know. I don't even. I wouldn't even know how to answer that. I think that's probably for other people to say. You just
I
sort of fit
love
in.
that.
You fit in where you fit in, and you pretty much. Well, I think that's probably it. Whatever it is you like to do, you find other folks that like to do the same thing you are, and you also learn your limitations. My limitations kept me off the athletic fields, but I think it's just a matter of kind of finding or feeling your comfort zone, whatever that was, and whatever other people might think of that.
For what it's worth, I would characterize your high school self as committed.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Find a thing um, all your life, you sort of find yourself in a place, and people keep asking you to do stuff. And if you do it, like you say, being committed to it, you're going to get the job done and enjoy doing it for sure. But I think that's probably appropriate.
Is there anything you wish you could have told your high school self?
Um, Not really. I wouldn't, I'm not wise enough now to think of what it would be. And at the time, I probably wasn't smart enough to accept it. So um, I don't really think that there's anything I could probably have convinced myself when I was 17.
Did you have a favorite teacher and why?
Um, when we first started talking about this, it made me think about teachers, and I either have a repressed memory or a suppressed memory. I don't remember a lot of stuff. I suppose if I had a conversation with somebody and they start bringing it back, I might remember. But I don't think I really did, and I do not remember my third grade teacher's name or all of that stuff, which my wife does. Marianne knows all that stuff. I don't remember anything, so I can't say that I really did.
You know, it's funny. Do you remember Annie Hills?
Oh yes, yes. I'm a Facebook friend, so I certainly get to see her career and what uh, what she's been up to.
Annie will call me and say, "Who did I date?" Seriously, she has
Yeah.
no memory of what the person's name was or when she dated him or how
Hmm.
they met. We actually recorded, I'm going to do air quotes that you won't be able to see, but we
Yeah.
actually did her first album in my house.
Oh my goodness.
And she didn't remember what song she sang. She, she's actually starting to write a book about her life. So she's calling me up all the time saying, "Do you remember?
Yeah.
How
Well,
did you
she's
do this?"
in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
someplace I used to go.
Yeah. Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been there many times. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful place. Interesting place, historic place.
Very, very, I think. And they also have a great consignment store.
Oh, okay.
Just in case. Is there anything you miss about high school?
Uh, the answer is probably much the same, to the extent that I don't long to be 16 again. Um, and um, so, not really. I mean, we go, well, we don't go to St. Joe a lot, but we pass through there. We spend a week in the summer up in the Leelanau Peninsula up near Glen Arbor. So we go through and I would say I'll miss St. Joe for its beauty. Every time we happen to go through, I just, yeah, in my life, I thought I'd always live near something dramatic like Michigan, or when we were in Arizona, the mountains. So here we are in the middle of the cornfields of Indiana. But we had a chance last fall. We were in St. Joe and stayed at the Boulevard, and the evening and the looking out onto the lighthouse and through the branches and stuff, and it was just so serene. And I'm sure I took it much too much for granted during the time that I lived there, but we do appreciate it when we have a chance to pass through.
Yeah, I think we were blessed in so many ways growing
Mhm.
up. It was a safe community. It
Yep.
was fairly well off, so we got a fairly good education.
Yeah.
Again, the beauty. I I I miss living on a big on a lake or an ocean
Yeah.
or something. And I'm like you. We're in the middle of the flatlands of North Carolina, so I have no geographical diversions here.
Yeah.
Is there a St. Joe place that is special to you?
Um, I think, well, it's it's so much changed. When we go and we see that, well, all that industry is now a golf course. And I would say it was probably the Tiscornia Beach. I think I spent a lot of time there, both. I spent a lot of time there and enjoyed the time we spent there, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, we really were so lucky. So lucky. I don't remember you ever getting into trouble in school, but did you ever get into any trouble?
No, not enough. No, I never got into trouble. I
You and
was,
Beth Lee. You should
yeah,
watch Beth Lee's video because it's funny. I tease
okay,
her about being so straight-laced and never getting into trouble. I
sure.
actually asked her if she ever murdered anybody.
No.
Well, going along with that, did you ever do anything stupid in
Oh
school?
yeah, I remember that. Again, these are stories you tell your children, but I remember going out on the North Pier at a time when nobody in their right mind, and given the development of our prefrontal cortexes at the time, we were not in our right minds, and walking out there during a storm, lived through it, lived to tell the tale. But there were a bunch of us. I don't remember who it was, but a number of us were not. Whatever it was that we didn't have to do for the day, we went out there and walked out to the end of the pier during a storm. I
Mark,
shuddered.
I did that with Pat Crow one
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
and she got washed off the pier.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it was just by the grace of God. She was hanging on to the I looked over where she had been and she wasn't there. And honest to God, I was so panicked. And this was
Mhm.
maybe 2 months after her brother had died.
Oh no.
And luckily I saw her, she was hanging on to the side and I pulled her up. But
Mm.
oh my God, when I think of how just stupid we were to do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Oh my God. Is there, well, no, I'm not going to ask that question. Do you have an embarrassing or funny school story?
No, not really. Again, it may well be in there somewhere, and if you dug hard enough, we could find it. But there's nothing that wakes me in the night, trying to remember what it was that I had accomplished that created embarrassment.
Is there or was there anyone, teacher or student, that you were afraid of?
Oh no, no, couldn't even begin to think what that would be, but no.
Some people have said Jeff Clapp.
Well, okay, well, I went on Fem Jeff, but I don't know, maybe I was, whatever it was, I kind of had him figured out, I think. But he never bothered me.
Um, do you have a word or a phrase you would use to describe our class?
Hmm. No, I really cumulatively, I don't, I wasn't uh, self-aware enough at the time to be able to construct that kind of thought, and I can't really think of anything now. I just think mostly of good people uh, that I remember some things that now that we talk about this, some things where parts of the group would look out for other people and might take care of somebody concerns that we might have had for others. I remember now saying it, some of those conversations. So I think just most of all, caring and people would look out for each other.
I I view our class in relation to the classes around it, and
Mm.
our class was very straight-laced in comparison to the other classes, I thought. Don't you think?
Well, I don't know that I know enough about the rest of them, but again, we think of the times, 1969, 70 or so, and even though it may or may not have occurred to us that it affected us, but it was a time, and it may well be that was our response to it, that we'll just stay away from that to the extent we can.
I think so. Um, what's the best advice you ever got? Not necessarily in high school, but anytime.
Um, Actually, I remember it was at a time when we were in some class activity meaning in charge of whatever it was we were in charge of, like the prom or some other thing that I was working on. And I think my dad told me, um, never ask someone to do something you'll know they won't do. Was a strong lesson in leadership uh, because um, that stead me well, and it put me in good stead through most of my life when I was confronting something that was difficult and trying to get difficult people to go along with what needed to be done.
And what skill set do you have in order to do that? Just is it just being politic
Um,
or
uh,
compassion?
um, I would just say patient. Learn not to talk, listen more, talk less, to quote Hamilton. Um, it's that sort of thing. Uh, just being able to listen and um, try to understand, but mostly don't feel challenged or confronted or offended. There's much more offense taken in the world today than ever was intended. And I think those are lessons I learned a long time ago.
I think you're right. I think it's a it's a touchy world right now. Any personal achievement you're most proud of?
Um, I've done some stuff that um, I don't necessarily wear it on my sleeve. Um, when we were in Arizona, so this goes back to the early '80s. Um, I was doing a lot of running and fell into a group of runners who had heard about this thing called triathlon. And it was in the early days of that. And so we decided that we would get into the lottery for the Ironman in Hawaii, the big one, the big deal. So I ended up doing that twice in 1984 and 1985. I think, in my head, it, I think other people are more, can't comprehend it. In my head, it's just being able to do something for a very long time. So if you like to swim a lot and cycle a lot and run a lot, that was what put it together. So that was probably one of the achievements. But um, I've had an opportunity. I think one of the things that I've been able to do over time is work with college age students. And it's really been exciting to remember them from their undergraduate days to watching them grow and get married and have children and just being the most wonderful people you'd ever know. Some of the folks I've known over their lifetimes, I just I can't believe how blessed I am to have been able to be part of their lives and them part of ours. So that's probably one of the things that I like most about the life I've had.
And I bet they feel blessed that they've had you.
I'll have to ask them.
I'm going to ask a question. I'm not going to include the answer because it's sort of political. Um,
Oh,
so your clerkship with the Supreme
mm,
Court,
yeah.
what do you think's going on with the Supreme Court these days?
Um, I'll try to do this
As I say, I'm not going to air this.
well, I'm reading a book right now called We the People, and it's a history of the amendments, the attempts to amend the Constitution over time. And it is right to me personally, it's the most depressing thing I've ever read because I'm looking at stuff that happened post Civil War and even or now I'm in the 1930s. They are making I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to get excited now. They're making the same arguments back in 1860 that they're making today. The thing that just happened in with the Supreme Court on the voting rights thing, that is directly from post-Reconstruction. It is infuriating. Um, I'm I honestly am afraid of some of the things that might happen, given what's on the Supreme Court.
Oh,
So
me
I'm
too. Me too.
um, reading the history of uh, suffrage, women's suffrage. It is unbelievable. I don't honestly think they could do anything as stupid as mess with that, but the same kinds of arguments that were made back in the,
Right,
yeah.
right. I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised because they want us to go back to just having babies.
yes. The other thing, I the other thing is that the birthright suffrage, birthright citizenship thing.
Right.
I thought, well, that's pretty cut and dry. I've read the thing and I understand what it's talking about. But in reading about that post-Civil War, it turns out that there is in the English common law two kinds of citizenship. One you derive from your parents, and one you derive from your location.
Mhm.
And it is entirely possible that if this court were to go back into the common law and pull on that thing about you have the citizenship of your parents,
Yeah.
uh, I used to be fairly confident that that was going to happen, but I'm a little scared now.
Honest to God, this is the world I don't understand anymore.
Oh,
I
agree.
just don't understand it. I
Yeah.
mean, I know some people are finally coming around to the idea that he's nuts,
Oh, yeah.
but why did it take so long? I,
Yep. I fully understand. I tell you, well, I'll give you another like a personal thing that because I think about it in relation to my own family and my own friends who have kids. Imagine what all of this would look like if right now there was still a draft and the things that are going on unnecessarily,
Yeah.
destroying, well, all that. Can you imagine what it would look like if you had young people, 19 years old, my friend's daughter just turned 18, 19, what it would be like for her to go off to college with that hanging over your head. Same thing happened when my sons were 18 and 19. That was the first Iraq thing. And I just, reflecting back on my own experience, what it would feel like, how far, what it would feel like if that was an option. You know, it's not now, but I think, and then it's not that I want it to come back and anything, but how it would look.
Didn't you see, maybe it was a month and a half ago, that he floated the idea of a draft that when you applied for your
Yeah,
driver's license.
yeah, you have to, you're actually supposed to, uh, um, when you turn 18, you used to fill out a form for the post office. And they changed that in some way. But I think that, well, I would be hopeful that the revolt would be enough that we never see that again. It's just impossible.
Yeah, I'll show you what I did. I don't know who you voted for, but
But you can
after
guess.
after he won, and I'd never made jewelry before, I designed and made this pin.
Yeah,
IVFK for
yeah.
I voted for Kamala.
Oh yeah. No, we've never, well, we're in a pretty red part of the country right
Mm,
here. Although Carmel is people are smart enough to know better. So I think there are some things that are going to happen this year. We have an awful representative, and the Democratic candidate will is a fellow I know who I think, given that he can raise enough money, you know, it's all about money, uh, be able to unseat her. But
fingers crossed.
yeah, I they we need it. We need a complete change in the whole thing, turn it around so that we can get rid of he who must not be named. And
Yeah.
um,
I'm hopeful that all the gerrymandering they're doing is going to reduce the amount of Republicans in each of those districts to a level where the ones who are finally starting to
oh,
turn on him and the independents will maybe
well, yeah,
make a
that's a
difference
good,
and make it go Democratic.
yeah, that's a good thought because I hadn't thought of it that way. Um, yeah, among the among the constitutional amendments that we might need is a anti-gerrymandering one.
Yeah,
We also,
anti-gerrymandering, anti-graft and corruption.
yeah, well, that part shouldn't be that hard. Supreme Court needs term limits. Um,
Yeah, I'm just, anyway.
yeah,
Well, is there anything, hold on. No,
no, you're fine. There's nothing.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Is there anything you want me to ask you?
No, no, I don't think so. No, I can't think of anything
Are you relieved?
that. Indeed, indeed.
Well, you did a great job. I hope it wasn't too traumatic for you.
All right. I
I
appreciate it. I appreciate the effort you're making to try to hold things together. It's can't be easy.
it's pretty easy. It
Oh,
actually is.
that's
And I'm
great.
so glad to see you. You just look terrific, and I'm glad you've
Appreciate
got
it.
a wonderful life. And I really don't think there's ever going to be another reunion. But if there is, I don't know if I'll even go. But if there is and I
Well,
go, I'd love to see you.
you know, you say that the another reunion thing. When my mother passed away, and I'm going through her stuff, I see an invitation to her 60th. And I thought, oh, didn't know what to think, but it sure seemed a long, a long time.
You know, I've invited like 40 of our old teachers, And do you remember Mrs. Petey?
I remember the name.
She's
Wasn't
over
she?
100,
Oh my
and she
goodness.
went to my sister's reunion just a couple of years ago.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. And Ron Waldvogel is going to be there, Mrs. Belsky, um, Ike Mullenkamp,
Oh
Dennis
my.
Neola, or Canola. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things you notice as we advance. Those age gaps, they may be 8 or 10 years older than you, which seemed like forever when you were 16, but it's not that much now.
We get together with Claire and Sally Adkin every once
Oh,
in a while.
really?
They live down here. And
Oh,
yeah, I mean, they're like contemporaries now.
oh,
He
sure.
just turned 80 and I think he's 84. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, not that
Well,
much
honey,
then.
thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I'm just so happy to see you and to know that you're doing well and happy and have a good family and have family dinner
Yep.
Sunday nights. I just love it.
Great. Well,
Well,
thank you.
thank you, sweetie.
All right.
Have a great summer and keep your fingers crossed for the midterms.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Okay.
that. All right.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Right. Bye now.
Bye.